a part of several Discord servers, most of which I'm pretty inactive in. However, on Monday, I was chit-chatting one of the servers that I'm decently active in when a user named Bandit posted an article saying that there is a new How to Train Your Dragon series. What? Hey y'all, I'm the Geek Apprentice, and yes, you heard that right. There is a new How to Train Your Dragon series coming as reported on The Hollywood Reporter. So what is it? Who's making it? What's it about? How can there even be another series after the way Hidden World ended? Well, don't get your hopes up too high here. This series, titled Dragons Rescue Riders, coming to Netflix from the producers of shows such as Kim Possible, is aimed toward preschoolers. Yeah, not quite like the series we've had in the past with Dragons, Riders of Berk, Defenders of Berk, and Race to the Edge. On the plus side though, and yes, I do think this is a plus, all things considered, it doesn't look as though this story is going to include at all any of our main characters. Instead, this series is following entirely new characters, mainly Layla and Dak, who kind of looks like a chummy young dagger, I think. Twins who were raised by dragons and can therefore communicate with them, and they help the people of the town of Hutsgaller. Yeah, so I'm assuming the dragons are going to be talking in this series. So I personally am very glad that it doesn't seem as though they're going to be tarnishing any of our beloved heroes, human or dragon. Speaking of dragons, you know, those creatures that they animated so well, along with everything else. Yeah, these dragons do not look anything like the dragons we've come to discover throughout the series. One of them vaguely resembles a Deadly Nadder, but we know it's not because this dragon has 4 legs, and technically a Nadder is a Wyvern, which is a creature that's essentially a dragon but more bird-like because it has 2 legs instead of 4. In fact, nothing looks like the animation we've come to love. It's very preschool-like, reminiscent of shows like Doc McStuffins. All in all, I'm honestly quite relieved that this spin-off series does not seem to resemble at all, story or anything, the mainline Dragon series we know. It truly is a spin-off, and one that I hope introduces a very young audience to the brilliance and magnificence that is the How to Train Your Dragon series. While we're on the topic though, should there be a new series following the characters we know? Could there even be? Think about it. Riders and Defenders of Berk took place in the year and a half or so after the first film, when everyone was roughly 15 years old. Then we got the short Dawn of the Dragon Racers, which seamlessly connected those two series to the Netflix series. And that Netflix series, Dragons Race to the Edge, takes place when the characters are roughly 18 and 19 years old, which flows quite nicely into the second movie when they are 20. Finally, we know that the last installment in the movie trilogy takes place a year after the second film, making them 21 years of age. After that, the dragons are gone, staying hidden in the hidden world, except for that one time 10 years later when Astrid, Hiccup, their 2 kids Zephyr and Nothing go and visit them. So what does that leave us with in terms of trying to make a new series or even some shorts? It cannot be after the last film, because we know for a fact that when the young Haddock family goes to visit Toothless, the Light Fury, their young offspring, the Nightlights, and Stormfly, it is the first time they have reunited since their somber parting a decade earlier. Sure, you could argue that you have a series where maybe Hiccup finds some stray dragons and he has to kind of guide them that direction, or a series where someone else discovers the hidden world. But what kind of monster would create a series where Hiccup and Toothless are not together? No, that won't do. Trust me, I'm not bitter about the ending. It was the right thing to do. But you can't have a series with just Hiccup or just Toothless, and we know they did not see each other at all for those 10 years. There are only 3 times in which maybe, just maybe, you could squeeze a series or just a short out of. The first option is between the 2 first series and Dawn of the Dragon Racers. The second option might be in between the Netflix series and the second movie, and the final option being between the second and the third movie. Each slot is about a year, maybe a little bit more, and the Netflix series took place over a year's worth of time, and they managed to get 6 seasons full of episodes out of it. Frankly, I'd say the first option is completely out. It's definitely the longest period of time, going from age 15-16 to about 18, 19, but there's such a big transition in maturity and growth there that it might be really hard to animate. The Netflix series was already pushing it with the transition between the first film and the second film. I just think it would be far too difficult to try and make another transition phase in animation. The second option might could work, as we could see more of these rescue missions that Hiccup talks about as being so funny in the beginning of the second film. It might also be nice to see Hiccup and Astra's romantic relationship transition from its sweet and giddy beginnings to the natural bond they exude from the second film onward. And finally, the third option, which is between the second and third film, might be the most interesting of them all. We could see the more intense missions that Hiccup is leading, like we see in the beginning of the third film. But on top of that, we could also see Hiccup's transition as he is the new chief of Berk, those early beginnings of being chief. And we could see the development of his relationship with his mother Valka. And I suppose see the decline, if you will, of Berk as it becomes overloaded with dragons. So sure, all of these are decent possibilities, not just for a series, but maybe just some shorts, which I'd be fine with too. However, in all honesty, I think it is really good that we've had to say goodbye to the series. This is something that I think many different series, TV and movie, really need to learn. Yeah, they're making money, and sure, plenty of people enjoy them, but we need to learn how to say goodbye and let go of things. And I think the creators of the How to Train Your Dragon series have got their head on straight by teaching that lesson to us about growing up, which is a big theme in the series, and also letting go and moving forward into your adult years. I have massive respect for that and believe it ought to stay that way. Not that I wouldn't watch a new series or short if they made it, I would, but I think it would kind of negate the overall theme. I'll cry every time I hear the music and rewatch the movies and the series, but oh well. What are your thoughts on this? Do you have toddlers in your life that you're going to be introducing this new preschool series to? Do you wish with all your heart that there would be maybe another series or more shorts? Or are you glad that they are actually following through on their theme of growing up and letting go by officially ending the series and saying goodbye to it? As hard as it is. Let me know in the comment section below. While you're at it, feel free to subscribe and check out my other social media such as Twitch, where I stream fun games that I'm really bad at, or my Instagram. But that is all for today. Thank you for watching.